Okay, I'm gonna share my screen with you. Um, by the way, are you kind of familiar with the astrological language?
A little bit. I don't know that I'm super good at reading charts or anything, but I do know like what a chart is. I know placements, I know planets a little bit, but not super.
Great, that's totally good enough. All right, Vidya, when's your birthday?
September 16th, 1994,
In time?
4:30 p.m.
Okay, place.
Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Okay, Vidya. So,
Yes.
can you tell me a bit about what's happening in your life currently?
I ended my Saturn return, if I'm correct, a little bit ago. So it has truly shaken up my life, as so many people say. I feel like my found over the past 6 months, the foundation that I've lived my life has broken. So like job situation, money situation, friend situation, like everything has exposed itself. So I'm finding myself in a place where I'm rebuilding more authentically, more genuinely than before. But it definitely feels like my world has come crashing down over the past like 6 months to a year.
Mm-hmm. Rebuilding in what sense and how?
Yeah. So I have a lot of like integrity in my work and in my life. That's kind of how I've always operated. I don't really operate in the gray. So a job I had held that was in like a high level job, there was a lot of corruption happening. And I was basically being asked to like allow the corruption to happen. And when I didn't allow that to happen, I lost my job and I like had a lot of retaliation and discrimination that I faced through my career in this moment, probably 6 months ago, exactly. Um, and that uncovered a lot within my own personal life where I realized that a lot of people I had considered close and were my friends didn't show up for me in this period of my life, which really made me think like what is it that I'm actually building and who's in this space with me. So it's kind of forced me to say like who's genuine, who's not, who actually has integrity, who's not, and what is the life I actually want to live.
All right, I'm gonna have a lot of follow-up questions, but I want to start reflecting so I don't get lost in all the information I'm already
Okay.
seeing.
Okay.
Um, mhm. Yeah, I was just think, how do I want to phrase it? All right, let's do it like this first. Dun, 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 dun. All right, I want to start with the Venus-Jupiter conjunction in your ninth house.
Okay.
And this for me is that you started off by saying you're a person of integrity.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, I just felt that here, right? Because the ninth house is about how we see the world and about
Okay.
our perception, right? And so the two benefics conjunct feels like, okay, someone who likes to do things correctly. Then I felt how Pluto is on your midheaven, that
Mm-hmm.
people at work were asking you to do something that's very corrupt, and I guess you were going through a period of, well, immense distrust and kind of like disillusionment with what's happening there. I'm gonna want to ask about that in just a
Okay.
moment. The other thing I want to show you, it's about the transit 6 months ago. So that would have been November 2025 because I backtracked 6 months. And at that time, Saturn stationed exactly opposite your sun at 23
Okay.
degrees and exactly trine your Pluto at 25 degrees. Okay. So this makes me think about the situation where you were put in a position where you're asked to do corrupt things and you have to decide for yourself that no, that's not who I am, the sun in Virgo. I have pure intentions.
Mhm.
And of course, you have to therefore leave the job in order to be okay with yourself. So that for me is like the Saturn, Pluto, Sun. But the other piece of this is the transit Pluto is simultaneously crossing your ascendant in Aquarius. Because you said that, well, throughout this process, you realized who are your friends and who is not, who can you rely on and who can't you. So this feels like like when you say, yeah, you're rebuilding, like you have to start over. What I see is like during this period, Pluto literally entered your first house, right? And is
Mhm.
sitting on your ascendant. So does that all make sense so far?
Yeah, it's very accurate.
Okay. And
Yeah.
so rebuilding, so okay, you were let go 6 months, you quit 6 months ago.
No, I was it was a very long process where they launched a fake investigation into me saying that I am corrupting the organization and I'm making staff do things that they're uncomfortable with, which is not the truth, of course. Staff were coming to me saying, we feel we're being coerced to falsify state documents, like all of this crazy stuff. Like, what should we do? And I'm like, don't ever get yourself caught up. Like, you better write everything down. So the two people that were like running the organization created a false narrative, created this investigation. I went through the investigation, met with all the right people. All the right people were like, this doesn't sound like you actually did anything. Okay, good to know. Follow up. I also follow up on this because after the investigation process, nobody says anything to me. Like, nobody's like, this is the result. So I follow up like about a month later, like, hey guys, like, what's going on? Before I did that, I filed with the right oversight bodies to be like, I think something's gonna happen. I have a feeling. Here's my documentation. Da 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 da. And then when I followed up, they were like, yeah, let's meet in a week. We meet in a week, and they're like, we fire you because you can no longer work here, based on the investigation. And essentially, it was like, people don't like you. was the answer. So yeah.
Okay. First of all, that sounds extraordinarily stressful and unfair.
Yeah. Thank you.
Um, Actually, I can't really fathom, but okay.
Yeah.
Um, so I want to point out to you again, right? Saturn is stationing in November. When planets come to
So
a
this
station,
happened end of October.
perfect, exactly.
Okay. Okay.
Because
Yeah.
also, end of October, Saturn is stationing. A stationing is a period of time where a planet is slowing down and coming to a complete stop before they turn around and start moving forward again. So the station is a very, very intense period because the energy of Saturn becomes concentrated in one location. In this case, it was 25 degrees of Pisces, right? So exactly trying your Pluto at 25 degrees in the
Right.
10th house. And exactly opposite your sun, almost exactly opposite your sun at 23 degrees Virgo. Now, the Virgo is a person who documents because Virgo is ruled by Mercury, right? And so think about it. Saturn is opposing your
Mm.
sun, and you are under investigation for corruption,
Wow.
for doing
Yeah.
things that weren't true, right? And you notice again, it was about the falsification of documents. The documents
Mhm.
would be Virgo, the falsification would be Pisces, and Saturn would be the period where you're working on your integrity to right the falsification and restore the truth, right?
Yeah.
So that you're being unfairly investigated, there's Saturn opposite your sun
Oh
and
wow.
joining
Yeah.
your Pluto in the 10th. Okay. Yeah, and so that you dealt with these evil, well, I'm gonna call them evil, even though
Yeah.
that's right. Pluto in the 10th house. That you have to
Yeah.
go through that connected to your sun.
Mm. Wow.
Okay, just briefly, what were they asking you to like falsify? What was the point of all that?
Yeah, no, it's so they have very tight budgets, like a lot of these businesses. So they get city and state money that's like very specific, right? Like young people need to get jobs. Here's like 100K towards that. And they were not using any of the money towards any of the
Uh-huh. Okay,
programs.
wow. I
Yeah.
see. So that's big time cheating.
Big time. And that's why I was also, so spent most of my career working in the jail system in New York City. So documentation has been is how I was trained. So immediately someone comes to me, I'm like, no, these city agencies can come in and they will look at your work and they will say, why did you falsify this document? So I'm like, you better not. You better write thorough notes about who told you what to do when, because this is going to be on you, and they arrest people for stuff like this. So be careful. This is fraud. And so that's really what.
Okay, so do you see the sun in the 8th connected with Pluto in the 10th? Fraud.
Oh,
Right, because if
really?
you think about your sun in the 8th house, so what was the whole situation around? Well, it was the fact that they were stealing money that didn't belong to them. There's the sun in the 8th. You're exposing fraudulent activity where money is not being spent the way that it's reported.
Yeah. Wow.
There, Sun, Pluto, 8th, 10th, right? While Saturn is stationing opposite.
Wow. That's crazy. Yeah, clock it.
Clock it. Okay, good. Okay, good. So we have the background.
Yeah.
All right, so I guess then in November, December, you were let go.
Yes.
Okay, see, that's when Saturn turns direct and starts moving forward.
Okay.
And
So I was let go October 21st, but
okay,
then 2 weeks after I was let go, some lady I met years ago invited me to go to the United Nations in the Middle East to speak about my work. So it's been such a crazy moment because this is theoretically the worst thing to happen into my career, but also theoretically one of the best things to happen into my career. So
I see. So this happened, I guess, like in November, early November, November
first
4th,
week
let's
of
say.
November, yeah.
Okay, here's what I want to point out to you about that. I'm just going to go to November 3rd. And notice that the sun is at 11 degrees of Scorpio at that time,
Okay.
exactly conjunct Venus and Jupiter in your 9th house. Yeah? So you're asked to go speak at the United Nations, Sun, Venus, Jupiter, 9th house,
Wow.
about your work, which would be when the sun obviously enters your 10th house shortly thereafter.
Yeah.
Did you go?
Wow. Yes, I went, and it was in like I was so happy and I was so depressed at the same time because this was clearly such an honor to be in the space and be all the way around the world speaking and meeting people and talking to presidents of nations. And then, mind you, at the same time, this job has like they've illegally cut my health benefits. They're illegally retaliating against me. So I'm feeling the foundation crack, but I'm also like, I'm in the Middle East. Like, what? So I was going through it.
Hey, right. So that makes me think about Saturn's opposition to your sun at that time on another level, that your health benefits were being cut unfairly. And so I guess financial concerns started to come up. Right. So there's the sun, Saturn, 2nd and 8th house. When was the speech at the UN?
Let me see. I can tell you. November. Let me see. Let's see. It's definitely. Let me see. Did I get here?
Must have been around the 17th.
Yep. I think it was. Thought it was earlier. Yeah, it was earlier. November. I'm looking through them. Okay. Okay. I flew out November 1st.
Oh.
Literally, yeah. November 1st, I was on a plane.
Okay, and then it was
And then
like
I
the 2nd or the 3rd that was the speech.
think so. Let me see which day I spoke. Oh, here we go. November 5th, I spoke.
Okay,
Yeah.
very good. I want to show you about November 5th.
Yeah. And that was the
Uh,
exact day they cut off my health insurance and the exact day I spoke. So I thought that was crazy.
okay. So I have the transits for November 5th. What I want to show you is that on that day, the sun is conjunct Jupiter in your chart.
Okay.
Right? So think about it. You're having one of the biggest moments. You're in front of heads of state. You're like, whoa.
Yeah.
Right? But it's not just that the sun is conjunct your Jupiter. In fact, it is a full moon
Oh, wow.
conjunct your Jupiter, and the full moon is in the third house of speaking, right?
Yeah.
And the other thing is that Pluto again is crossing your ascendant in Aquarius, right? Aquarius is the United Nations because it's the collective organizations, and you're like, whoa, getting one of these massive moments. Okay, so that all
Yeah.
makes sense, right?
Crazy.
Very good. So what follows that?
So what follows that? I mean, I was grateful to get on unemployment. Oh, so you know what's really crazy? Okay, so I get fired, what, October 21st. 2 weeks before the state, New York State, passes some policy that increases unemployment.
Oh, hallelujah.
So I'm making like $3,000 a month just off unemployment for the next 6 months. So I can pay my rent, pay my groceries, everything, not a lot of money, but enough to. But yeah, I was like, how did that bill get passed 2 weeks before this happens to me? Like, yeah.
Okay, so you never went without money, kind of. You just
No.
didn't have an income, so you had to think, oh, so what am I gonna do next, and blah blah blah. Never mind that you were getting investigated.
October. Okay, so I'm a tarot reader. So like I've been reading tarot for myself for my whole life, right? Like never monetize it, just do it for my own guidance. October 21st, get fired. So clearly I'm on Craigslist looking for what was a little bit of money I can make. And then someone posted an ad for a tarot reader at an influencer party. So I'm like, let me go. Let me just do it. And tell me why I made $1,000 in 3 hours.
What day was that?
It was a Thursday, I think. Yeah, it was a Thursday.
In early November or when?
Yeah, 2 days after I got fired. So October 23rd.
Oh.
So I don't know what was going on in the air then, but.
So you had a lot of good things happening to you just after you got fired,
Exactly.
is what I hear. And here I want to show you about that because I think it's pretty clear and pretty nifty. I just changed locations. If you notice me moving around, that's why.
No, you're fine.
Yeah, where do I even begin? Just to make it simple. Very simple. I'm going to say that at that period, the sun was transiting your Venus and Jupiter, right? So, I mean, think about it. You didn't make $80, what many people would say. You made 1,000 on Venus, Jupiter, right?
And there was a line out the party for me. I was like, this is insane. There was like 50 people. They were all, they opened their wallets. It was like 5 minutes of time. They're giving me $50, $100 here. Oh, she's so good. And I'm like, where am I? What alternative reality am I in? Like,
okay, you know what that makes me think about? I'm going to remove Pluto just to make it even more easy. Okay, so there's two things happening at that time. One of them is Saturn opposing your sun and trining Pluto. That's the corruption case, right? And dealing with all the stuff that's happening there, having to figure out a new job, even looking for other opportunities to make money. The other thing that's happening simultaneously is notice Jupiter is also at 24 degrees Cancer, making a sextile to your sun and a trine to your Pluto. Right, so you have the effect of Saturn on one hand and the effect of Jupiter on the other hand. So here you're dealing with an investigation, unfair employment practices on one hand. On the other hand, you're making $1,000 and you're going to the UN to give a speech.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Crazy.
Okay. Okay. So at that point, then you had to start rebuilding from November forward. What did that mean for you?
So there was a guy I met so my family's from India originally. And so he is also from India, and I met him on LinkedIn, and he does similar community work as me, right? So we essentially joined forces. I tell him what happened with my job just to give him an update, you know. He then decides he's going to go quit his job, and now we're going to support each other and work towards creating our own businesses or our own frameworks to make money off, right? Like essentially consulting type work. So essentially, for most of that time, because I didn't have to worry about money, I was kind of just like working on these passion projects with these different people. Fast forward now, over the past couple months, what's really happened is these people that have entered my life have entered maybe with pure intentions in the beginning, but they have stolen now my intellectual property and are profiting off of it to the point where they're blocking me on LinkedIn, blocking me on everything. Like I just can't. So it's like been a lot of really great building work where I've recognized my own strengths and my own beliefs, but I've also realized that too many people are in proximity to me and are taking my work as their own. And part of me is happy because now it's like, I must have really had some good stuff for you to steal it like this. But the other part is like, now I'm in the season of like, how do I protect my work and not give it out? Because as I'm giving it out, this is a pattern that has happened.
Jesus, Lord Christ Almighty. How did you get yourself in bed with all the charlatans?
No,
Congratulations. They're stealing your IP, girl.
yes.
What? Okay. Therefore, I'm feeling Pluto on your ascendant, right? Because he's sitting on your ascendant in Aquarius. Aquarius is when you work in groups of people. It's when you're part of an organization, part of a community, part of whatever. And of course, the Pluto that's coming from your 10th into your first is that they're getting very close to you, these corrupt people, right? And you have to just, so what does it mean when they steal your IP? Like, how do you end up, how can you protect your work from that? What are the steps that you can take?
Yeah, really, it looks like, I mean, the one good thing about me is documentation is my best friend and I got everything. So I've talked to some, and he's very stupid too. Like a lot of these people I'm realizing that are like fraudulent or corrupt are actually very dumb. Like there's metadata backing them trying to steal it. There's timestamps. There's like obvious moments. I also have a COO who's been amazing, and she was witness to a lot of these things. So like, I really just need to make some money to be able to hire a good lawyer to send like a cease and desist and send some actual proceedings. But they're very dumb. All of these people are very dumb.
Okay, so for me, what I'm noticing now is just Saturn has already made it to 11 degrees of Aries. I have the transits up for today, 22nd of May.
Right.
You see, he's approaching the opposition to your Mercury. This is, in fact, the new kind of chapter you're in, and that's going to continue well into 2027, the opposition from Saturn to Mercury. Now, think about it. Your Mercury is sitting in Libra, okay, and you're looking for legal assistance. And you have to send cease and desist letters. You want to send the timestamps, right? You're documenting everything. It's like everything has to be proven in court. But now, think about it. Saturn is transiting your second house opposing Mercury. So what you need to do now is save up money to buy the lawyer.
Yeah.
Right? And so that's the work at the moment.
Yes. Agreed.
Okay. Good. So that makes sense when you say it that way, right? Okay, and I guess also you have to like talk with a lot of different people, gather lots of information, get like what is it called when someone gives a helpful statement to you? Like
like the witness statements or
yes,
whatever.
exactly. Witness statements to people. Yeah, and you have to go and collect all of that. So I feel like it's a lot of work for you also with all those being in contact with all those different people.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So where does that leave you? Like, do you have other hobbies, or is it very like work? You just like that's on your mind?
I don't know. Like, I feel like I've been such a worker for so long, and I think one of my friends, who's also an astrologer, she was like, "I think that you've spent so much of your life thinking work creates your worth." And you're now in a season where realizing how hard you work doesn't dictate like how worthy you are. So like has been challenging me to look into like other ways of making money or just like stepping back a little bit, because I think for most of my career I've had to like force people to recognize me, right? Like I've had to fight for my spot every step of the way. And now it's like, I don't have to do that. So I don't fully know what that looks like. Like I have built my own business, which is going well, and I'm operationalizing that more and protecting a lot of that work. But I also have the tarot stuff, also have social media. I'm pulled in a lot of directions. I'm really right now trying to look for some type of stable job that just can pay my bills so I don't have to worry too much. But I'm also, for some reason, when I started this journey, I was so scared to be off on unemployment. Like, what does that look like for me? But I've been off unemployment for like a week or something now, and I'm not freaking out. I'm just like, it's going to work. Everything's going to come together. So I'm kind of in this transition stage to figure out what next steps look like for me.
And are you actively applying? I guess
So
yes. No?
yeah, no. So I've been getting frustrated because I'll get to the last round of these interviews and then I'm getting really the feedback that like, you know this field better than we know this field, so you're not a safe hire. Like I'm getting that a lot.
When you're overqualified, I get
a
it.
lot. So there's one more opportunity that I hope we'll hear back, and it's good news within this week or next. But after that, I'm like, if I don't get this, I have to pivot and figure something out because it's not working.
Okay, I guess you're gonna pivot.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know about that, but okay. No, I'm gonna explain to you my logic.
Okay.
And then you can either feel like, oh yeah, that makes sense, or no, it does. Because
Okay.
Okay. So just think about it, right? You're getting to the last stage of the interviews, and anytime you go into an interview, people are sizing you up. How are you compared to this person or that How do you answer this? What would you do in this situation, right? So in all of that, I'm feeling the Mercury in Libra, right? The interview process, getting to know those people, talking with them back and forth, agreeing on a time to meet, network, blah, 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 blah. But Saturn is opposing. So that makes me think about how you're getting to the final round and then they give you the no. And so why did I go through all this again?
Yeah, exactly.
And I'll explain to you why I think you're going to pivot. Again, I think I could very well be wrong. Because if I fast forward 2-3 months in the summer, Saturn will station opposite your Mercury and turn retrograde.
Okay.
And so that for me can be either like you're getting this job, but you feel like, so why am I doing this job? Like maybe it's not the right fit. That's one way I could see it going, or another way it's like, so you have to do something different altogether.
Yeah, because this job that I'm up for right now, like through the interview process, like super thirsty. Like literally like calling me back within 3 hours, like come in for another interview, but it's far. It's like my commute is longer. I think the work is cool, but I can't see myself realistically staying for years. It'd be like let me stabilize myself for the summer while I get all my other stuff in order. So this kind of track.
Okay.
It really does. Yeah.
I have a different opinion about that then.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to show you what I see now that
Yeah.
you get that piece of information. Saturn will station in square to your Mars.
Okay.
In the 6th. And when you tell me that it's a long commute, there I feel the Saturn Mars in the 6th house because you're spending a lot of time on the road, right? And there's the Aries piece of it as well, and that you don't get to be at home maybe as early as you'd like to be. There I feel the Cancer part, right? So there I feel like, yeah, that could be one of the big frustrations for you is the commute. So then I feel like, oh yeah, maybe you will get that job. But again, feel like, that's not.
Yeah, and then it's so interesting. This week I was supposed to hear, and it's like radio silence the whole week. And I've like asked my cards about it, right? And my cards are like, it's the same thing as before, right? Like they like you. They're just wondering, like, can we hold this person's energy? Is this too much? Is this gonna destabilize? Will she stay? Like, is the same. So even if I do get this job and I get to stabilize, I can't mentally really feel like this is my life because clearly I'm meant for something else.
Yeah, and it would also feel like maybe you don't get the creative freedom that you need in that work.
Yeah.
That's something else that comes up for me, that you would be too micromanaged, but it's something you got to go through for the time being to make the money, right? And that makes me
Exactly.
think about like Saturn retrograding through your second before he finally leaves. It's like, well, I need this financial stability, and yeah, I have to do what I have to do.
Yeah.
And then once I have that, and then I can move forward and like move with my litigation, maybe just improve with your business.
Exactly. Like if I have a little bit of a solid routine and foundation, even for a little period of time, I think it'll shift. Because like right now, even with my business, I love what I'm doing. I just feel like I'm in scarcity mindset because of everything that happened. So I don't want to fully operate my business and like ask for the funding, ask for the money, all of that, while I'm still like, where's my rent coming from? Like it gets harder to be like that. So I'm like, I just need something to stabilize me for the summer so I can really step into this season the way I need to.
Okay, what is this? So what is your business?
Yeah, so my business, so most of my career has been spent helping people that are coming home from prison. So I've been very much in that world. And a lot of the young people that I've worked with are now like not coming home, right? They made the decisions that they've made and they're not returning home to society. And a lot of them told me it was because we never had access to the things that we actually needed when we were young. So my business is all about putting like information, imagination, power, money, and resources and freedom into the hands of people and communities impacted by the criminal legal system. So it's like, sometimes that looks like a nice dinner. Sometimes that looks like connecting with investors about people's brands. It's just really like money and information into the hands of people that need it without having to go through the bureaucratic hoops.
Okay, it's going to be a little hard for me to reflect that because I see that happening on so many different parts of your chart. But if I could really, okay, the first thing I'll point to is your sun in the 8th house, Virgo.
Mm-hmm.
Because again, you're looking for funding, for resources, and importantly, Mercury, education in the hands of those people. And you know, the other thing for me is like your Venus, Jupiter, Pluto. Even though they're in different houses, for this case that I'm going to make, they're all crowded around your midheaven. Okay. And for me, the Venus, Jupiter, of course, is you bring grace. You are the angel for these people. You are there. You are like the last line of defense when nobody else is there. You're the greatest benefic. Right? To the Plutonian people who've been in the jail system, people who have been ignored, people who are criminal, right? Okay, so here, this part, I feel that you've been working with people, for most of your life, but also like your Mercury moon trine, because it's in air signs, Aquarius and Libra, feels like working with lots of communities also, like to bring that information and to have someone that is constantly there to provide that or to establish like actual buildings maybe or resources.
Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah. And I definitely like when I first stepped into a jail, it was at the 2020 COVID pandemic, like the height of everything. And like I never stepped into a jail before. Like I didn't know anyone that went to jail. But as I stepped into the space, it felt very normal for me. Like I never really had to try to connect with the people I was working with. It was from the second I walked in, people were like, "You're authentic. What's up? Like, what's going on?" I'd be like, "Yeah, this is what I'm here to do." And it was very like communal. Like people would be like, I remember having a therapist like, "Who taught you like how to jail?" I'm like, "No one. It's intrinsic in me. Like we're just cut from the same cloth or something." Like, so I always thought that was also very interesting. And I had been put in some crazy situations, some riots, some stabbings, like lived through it very early into my career. And I was always safe, always protected. My rapport always kept me good. But then it was like officers and other people would come up to me constantly like, "Can't believe you're still here. Can't believe you're coming back to work after what we saw." And it's like, that was just felt like initiation to me, like to the underworld. But yeah,
I'm kind of feeling like the planets I left up. So I'm going to start with the moon in Aquarius. You know, Aquarius is in a way, the most friendly sign, because you're
Mhm.
dealing with the whole of humanity, and humanity has all kinds of different people. And you have drug addicts, you have wealthy people, you have poor people, you have work, it's like all. And so the typical for the people who have the moon in Aquarius is like they're just open-minded, they're receptive, they know there's all kinds of, they're all about society, improving social welfare for everyone. And for me here, the moon's connection with actually Mars that is in her sign, Cancer, where you're helping people that have been separated from their families. You witness
Yeah.
stabbings, right? You witness people who have a lot of crazy stuff going on, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, together with the
Yeah.
Scorpio.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hmm. That's interesting. How did you land in that? I can't imagine that was like, big interest for your parents.
No, not at all. No, but honestly, like I was a young person, like I was maybe like 22. I was living in Virginia and like I was watching all these documentaries, and these documentaries were crazy to me. Like I just didn't understand how the US jail system was the way that it was. Like the lack of dignity, the lack of care, and these were people's family members at one point. So I think I was very shocked, and I really cared about like justice. Like I felt like that was justice needed to happen, but what does that look like, right? For people who have like caused incredible amounts of harm. And so like I was like, I want to find out. And so I moved to New York. Like I really moved to I didn't think I would be the successful, but I just really wanted to like get inside the jail walls and really like understand and meet people and like have conversations. And I started out doing tech support, turned into like people networking. Like, are you sure you really want to be like doing this counseling stuff? Like, we'll get you in. And one thing led to another, and I just like followed the path.
Yeah, I'm again thinking about your moon in Aquarius with Mercury and Libra. First of all, that you started watching various documentaries,
Mhm.
right? When it's documentaries about social movements, Aquarius, and you feeling like that's so fucking unfair, Libra, and
Yeah.
you're watching one after the next, and you're getting radicalized. Of course, how wouldn't you?
Yeah.
And yeah, and for you it's about these vulnerable people, right? So for me that's the Mars in Cancer, opposite the Uranus and Neptune in the 12th, having to do with the prison system and with the people who've been
Yeah.
usually men, right? Not always, but
No, and I don't like working with women. Like I rather work with the men. Like
okay, right. And then that you're seeking ultimately justice for them, and so
yeah.
there's like the T square to your Mercury and Libra
Mhm.
in the 8th house,
Oh, interesting.
right?
Yeah, that is interesting. Yeah, because it's all that was like my whole thing is like justice for me. It doesn't like it's not about me. It's what feels best for you and the community and the people that have been harmed, not me. Like I don't know.
Right. And so listening to other people, getting their opinions,
Yeah,
understanding their needs, getting close to them, relating to them, seeing what kind of resources you should bring
yeah.
in, seeing what kind of person they need to hear the message from, all those things, right?
Yeah, and I think it's interesting you said the conversation piece too, because one of my mentors, he's been telling me like the way my current business is gonna like really scale is like if I do social media around conversations. Like he was like, that is your thing. Like if you, because he's like, no one's doing it like you're doing it. So if you're able to do that and film it, especially if we're in New York City, there's so many people that will come out and support. He was like, I think that's your secret sauce. So I think that's
Okay. That tells me that, all right. Okay, so first of all, I'm hearing your Pluto on the Ascendant in Aquarius again, because at this point you're starting to really become part of the social fold, maybe more than you have been before, and you're getting really into society, right? You're getting very involved with the collective. I'm feeling that for you now.
okay.
Um, and just notice, so now Jupiter is at 22 Cancer. If I just fast forward 1 month, he's at 28. 2 months he enters Leo and opposes Pluto.
Okay.
And
Okay.
then he's going to also be making an aspect to your Mercury. And the reason I say all that is because as soon as Jupiter enters Leo, that for me is like filming, right? Because imagine it's going to be in the 7th house, right? And so you go and you talk to all different kinds of people around New York and you see what their opinion is.
Yeah.
Jupiter moving through the 7th, Leo, giving space for other people to express.
Yes.
Oh,
Wow, I love that. Yes, that
yeah.
sounds very accurate.
So that feels like it's coming, like
Yeah.
very, very soon. The summer and the autumn feel like very rich for that project.
Yeah, no, for sure. And like there's so many people that have called me and been like, so it was another situation was I had been gearing up to do all this filming and all of this stuff. And so we had met these guys who had done this like thing called their stoop set, where they like DJ right outside their block basically, and people can come in, and they wanted to partner with us and allow us to like film and sell things and do it. So we were kind of banking on that. Why did we just find out this week that one of the main hosts has been like dating multiple women at these events, like, and got like physically violent with one of the women when she found out? And so all of a sudden now it's like, this is not a safe space that we can be bringing young people to. So now we have to pivot again. And I think all of these pivots are teaching me that like, I need to control the space. I need to be the boss. I need to like, I love working with other people, but I need to find the line.
That is
Like it happened this past Sunday night. And I found out Monday morning.
and what was he doing again? This
He
this
was
man?
like, he was basically telling all these different women that he's in love with them and they're dating and they've met each other's mothers and stuff like that. But he's done this with 4 to 5 women who are all come to the same event and they all meet each other and they find out. Then one of the girls who was the most serious with him tells him, like, she finds out basically, and she's of course mad about it, and she's like, I'm about to leave, and then he's physically restraining her from like leaving, and she was like, I felt unsafe, I was screaming like that, nobody came out of their house to support, and now all these women are coming out, 5-10 women being like, yeah, he was weird, he like offered me this drink once, and like I didn't know, I thought you guys were cool. So it was like, yeah. Crazy.
Okay.
And the timing is crazy because this happened this past Sunday, and this following Sunday, I was about to bring the youth out to the space.
Okay. So I'm gonna go to the transits without your chart for a moment, just to make
Okay.
it point a little more easily. I have them for kind of Monday morning. Doesn't matter because
No,
we're
yeah, that's
looking at
fine.
mostly slow moving.
Yeah.
Okay, so just note, no, but it should happen in your chart. I should show you. Okay, so what I want to point, just look at the transit chart, which is the outside, okay?
Okay.
Notice Mars is at 29 Aries,
Yeah.
sextiling Venus at 29 Gemini.
Okay.
Venus is transiting your 5th house.
Okay.
Okay, of love, romance, relationship, dating, sexuality, kissy, flirty, 5th
Okay.
house. Okay? Mars is transiting your 3rd house of conversation, meeting people, gossip, whatever, right? So this, for me, the Mars-Venus is where the news broke that this guy has had many girlfriends, he was trying to date all of them, blah, 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 right? Think about the fact that those planets are at 29 degrees.
Oh,
Why
wow.
is that important? Because the next day they change signs and your plans change.
What? That is actually crazy. That is nuts. Because it literally the immediate time when I saw they posted, I was like, okay, we're gonna wrap this up. On to the next. I don't even care. Like,
yeah, and the energy
thanks
change.
for letting me know.
Because think about it also. Think about this. Okay, I'm going to remove Mercury and Uranus just to make my point again more clear. Venus and Mars are both at 29. That means that they've been moving through those signs for the previous however many days. For Venus, it was like 25 days. For Mars, it was like 40 days or whatever. It doesn't matter. They're both reached the end. And think about how for the weeks previous, you were under the impression that you were going to go out and film with these people.
Yeah.
right? And so that while, because Venus is in Gemini, right? That's filming. And Mars is in Aries, working with that guy in particular.
Yeah.
And then the moment they change signs, it's like, oops, okay, not gonna happen. We're gonna pivot, do something different. Okay. That always happens, but when planets are changing signs, it's always about a change taking place in life. In your case, it was about this. Okay. And
Crazy.
about other things as well that we just
Yeah.
didn't. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Wow. Wow, that's crazy.
So you're having like kind of a series of unfortunate events.
Yeah. Literally. Literally.
Where is your family in all this?
I'm not very close with my family. My mother is very like, she's very like traditional and very like overbearing. And and she can be very manipulative. So like I tried to distance myself. Both of my parents live in Virginia. So I'm not that close with my mom. My dad is like, I would be more close with him, but I feel like my relationship with my mom taints my relationship with my dad, like, because she controls so much. So I do speak to him every now and then. He did buy me a flight to the United Nations, so shout out to him. So he'll come in every now and then when he can. But as far as like a full relationship, I think it's going to be hard to have with my mother still in.
Okay, so there was like fighting with your mom nonstop.
A nonstop growing up, like.
And about what? Did she just yeah, about what?
Yeah, she was just very like, I'm a very free person, right? Like I like to express myself. I like to meet people. I like to live my life maybe a little unconventionally. For her, that's like me doing cocaine. Like she is like, you cannot be doing this. Like she uses a lot of threats against me. Like I could never just like spend time with my friends even growing up. Like she wanted to control every aspect of my life.
Oh, interesting. Okay. I'm seeing that on two levels. One of them is like you have Mars Mercury in a pretty close square from Cancer, right? The
Okay.
mother. And Libra, the relationship. I guess you're the one that has to end up being polite and saying, yes, mom. And right, that she's using threats against you
Yes.
constantly. Mars, Mercury,
Constantly.
like being in a fight, having to just fight for your life and actually attain fairness
Yes.
at the end of the day. Like just be recognized and be given the choice.
Yes.
Right, not be forced to make this. I guess they were making a lot of decisions for you.
Yes, no autonomy, no individuality, nothing. And then she would like go and badmouth me to my extended family, which I just found out a couple of years ago because I went to a wedding. And as I'm at the wedding, all these like, you know, aunties, they're just like, oh, like, can we have 5 seconds of your time? Like, and I'm like, 5 seconds of my time? Like, we can have a conversation. Like, what's up? And they would just be, and like it was very clear, like, oh, my mother has been feeding them lies, and like, I don't hate y'all. Like, I want to talk to you. Yeah.
Okay. There you can see the Mars Mercury connection with the moon in Aquarius. Aquarius is, by the way, also about distant family because they're not that close to you. It's not like you're huggy. You know, you go visit them almost like they're other public people.
Yeah.
And so there I feel that, but another important thing, like if I remove Mercury and Mars and just put up Saturn, and even though they're kind of apart, but the moon is moving towards Saturn, and so they are in fact conjunct. This makes me think about how your parents, I guess your mom in this case, did not allow you to be with friends, Aquarius.
At all growing up. So like even like when I left the house and everything and I was like doing things and I went to therapy, right? And like in therapy, I was able to heal my like resentment. Like I don't have resentment now against like my mother or my family. But I also think it's like for me at the end of the day, it's a lack of respect because you took you took my freedom. So like I also always felt like when I worked in like the prison system, it was so easy for me to connect because I genuinely feel like I was like I wasn't kept in a dungeon, but emotionally it felt like I was kept in a dungeon and like had to be controlled my whole life. And I have no respect for that. Like I have no respect for control mechanisms. Like, and I think that no matter how much I heal my resentment, that piece I can't. Like what's done has been done. Like I don't know. Like
would you try to like sneak out or rebel under the hood?
That's so funny. A little bit, yeah, but she was so crazy. Like she was so crazy. Like she really was. Like she's like threatened to call the cops on me. Like, mind you, getting good grades, like no, no issues. So yes, but most of my like childhood, I just kept telling myself, get to 17, leave the house. I knew that very early on. No matter how much you try, it's not real freedom. So what you can do is secure your future. So the second I graduated, I was out.
Okay, this makes me think about Pluto on your midheaven as well. The 10th house is also about people that have authority over you, like your bosses. And especially, obviously, as you're growing up, it's like your teachers, your mentors, your grandparents, your parents, ultimately. And there I start to feel something different, right? From the moon also being square Pluto in the 10th, I like this immense control, manipulation, threats,
Yeah.
psychological operation, complexity, guilt tripping, God knows what else.
Yes, because she'll like call my dad and be like, call your daughter and tell her this. And then like I'll be on my phone with my dad and I'm like, no, my dad. I'm like, he didn't like this isn't coming from him. Like this is all obvious. Like, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. And they live in Virginia.
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And did you ever like also live in India for any period?
Yes. Oh my God, how did you know? That's crazy. So my mom moved me there when I was a kid, when I was in fourth grade. Fourth grade, I did in India.
Oh,
Yes.
wow. I see.
That's so crazy.
But just fourth grade.
Yes, that's 1 year. And it was because my mom and me left because my mom wanted to move back to India. And then my dad stayed in the US to try to sell the house. So I lived for a year over there. Hated it. Of course, the school system is like mad punitive, like very disciplined. So like I was crying all the time. Like I was not happy. But also like in the US, like I felt like I was smart.
Yeah.
I like, was smart, but like in India, I was not smart because all these people are so much smarter and they're taught so much more. So like I definitely didn't feel like I was like a smart child and I was being like controlled in the space, but my dad couldn't sell the house. So we moved back. So literally like it was like nothing changed. I just left for a year. And then I found out that like my friends have been like messaging me, right? Like emailing me all of this stuff or sending me letters and notes and stuff like that. And then my mom intercepted all of those.
Oh.
Yeah. I found out later because those friends added me on
I
Instagram.
see. Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, okay, so I get it. Yeah, for me, like the moon, Mercury, right? The moon in Aquarius is all your friends, and Mercury and Libra, they're sending you letters, they're catching up with you. How are you doing? Hey, considering you, but continuing
Yeah.
relationship. No, and then comes the Saturn, and that for me is like, well, she intercepted all of them, and I guess you don't even know where she put them. That makes me think about the Pisces. You don't even know what's happening, and just get things happening behind your back.
Yes.
And I guess that was it. Like a lot of like, I guess you may have felt that way a lot of time. You're being excluded.
Yeah, I always felt like, why don't people want to be my friend? Like, what's going on? But then it's been so weird, right? Because after I left the house, and if I like, this is the first time I'm thinking about this, but like after I left and I went to college and I'm like going to parties, everyone loves me. Like clearly, like I have this energy where people like want to talk to me. People are constantly inviting me out. So like it's very interesting thinking back on my childhood because I definitely felt very ostracized, but like that's not the reality of me. I'm a very energetic.
Yeah, totally. You're like super outgoing, very friendly, very accepting, open-minded, talkative, loves to hear other people's points of view, very reasonable. Yeah, totally.
Yes. I mean, even at parties, people used to come out to me. People used to tell me their family secrets. Like people tell me everything. Like yeah.
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 Okay, that makes me think about. So let me think. So you said when you were 17 you left.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds 2012 is when I started
It's
college.
because, okay, I was thinking about this. Okay, so it's a little different timing technique that we use in astrology. It's called solar arc directions.
Okay.
It's not too important how it works, but basically all the planets are moving like 1 degree per year in this measurement technique,
Okay.
which kind of like at the movement speed of the sun. Because I was thinking, so there's a gap between your moon and Saturn, and therefore that gap should represent the amount of years before you break free, because the whole time the moon is moving towards Saturn, right?
Okay.
Therefore, exactly 17, it was more like around 18, 19, because I guess
Yeah.
those first years also you were like, ooh,
Yeah.
right? That's when the moon made the exact conjunction with Saturn, the arc directions, and then she moved past. And that for me is like, okay, you finally were freed from mother's
Yes.
constraint.
Because you know what happened during that time? That's so crazy. Literally within the 2 years, right? So like 2 years settled in. I met a great friend group, was friends with them, like really felt included and all of this stuff. And then I wanted to switch my major because I realized that like if I wanted to be a teacher at that time and I felt like I couldn't fit into the structures of traditional teaching, I wanted to like still was gonna graduate, still everything. My mother lost her shit and was like, she was like, if you switch your major, I'm not gonna pay for your school anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And my friend at the time was like, if you allow her to control you now, she's going to control you for the rest of your life. Make the decision. So I said, you know what? You could cut me off if you want. I will work multiple jobs and I will be fine. And I figured it out. And that was the moment that I got free. So that tracks completely. Yes. Yes. That's so easy.
Okay.
Wow.
And notice again how it's connected to, like, notice that Saturn is at 7 in your chart. Your Venus in the 9th house is also at 7 degrees. So that makes me think about how the whole situation where you finally broke free was around switching your major.
Yes.
Right, 9th house, 1st house.
Yes.
And finally you broke free from her.
That is so crazy. Wow. Is this like, I don't know. I don't know if you can answer this question or if it shows it in the chart, but like, is this dynamic ever going to shift? Because it sounds like she's tried, right? Like there's been moments where she's like apologized and stuff like that. But every time she does, I think she expects everything to be perfect. And like, you have to put in the work. And like, to me, I don't actually see her ever putting in the work. But then like people like there's a guy I'm dating right now who's like, he's stressed about my relationship with my mother because he's like, is this what it's going to be like forever, you know? But I'm like, she needs to like change and like we can have these surface level moments, but like until she's willing to not be manipulative, I really don't know.
So she hasn't, like in the past 8 months, there has been no movement from her.
No, she's just been like, she's working a job she hates. She's always calling me and just complaining about the job and the commute. But other than that, like I still see the manipulation. I still don't see her being fully honest. I see her using money as like, here, come get the money. I haven't told her about any of the job situation or any of this because I'm like, you're not going to help my stress.
Yeah, that makes me think about the Moon Mars exact quincunx that you have. There's like this always the agitation with her. To be honest with you, I don't know.
Yeah.
I really don't know. But what I can say is that every time there's going to be a transit of outer planets to your moon and Mars, that's going to be a time when there's changes happening in the relationship. The first one that's going to come is from Saturn. That's happening this year and next.
Okay.
Then I also think about Pluto moving towards your moon. And I'm like, something's definitely going to happen there. We don't know what. Is she going to become nice? Is she going to become institutionalized? I don't know.
Yeah, okay.
I'm kidding about that, by the way. But
yeah. No, exactly.
I couldn't say for sure.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm always wondering. Yeah.
And I feel like also, that makes me think about your Mercury and Libra. Like you try to be understanding, you try to give a hand, you try to be open.
Yeah, because that's what I like said to my boyfriend. I was like, I know that it scares you because I'm so like, when I'm done, I'm done. And it scares him to think of himself one day being in that position. But I'm like, no, like I give so many chances to be fair, like over and over and over again. So if I'm here, it's for a reason.
Did you and him start dating just recently?
In July of last year.
Oh, okay. So it's been a minute.
Yeah. But what's really crazy is he doesn't live in New York. He lives in Baltimore. And so long distance, but also long distance throughout these past 6 months, which has not been light for him, but he's been a trooper through it and been very great. So it's been very interesting.
So you have to travel to get to him.
Yes.
From time to time.
Yeah,
there's like interruption in your routine, I guess, therefore.
Yes.
But also kind of nice.
It is kind of nice, but it's also kind of annoying at the same time. But I think it's good.
By the water? Do you travel by water?
Yes, we both love the water, like obsessed with the water.
Yeah, because this period, Jupiter is conjunct your Mars in the 6th house, Cancer. Okay. So that makes me, of course, there's a man in your life and you're spending a lot more time with him and it's, intimate because it's Cancer. Yeah. But you also have to travel, right? It makes me think about the Mars in the 6th house.
But it also forces almost a foundation to be more solid than before, because it's like, before it's like instant gratification, just like come to my house. Now it's like, oh my God, you got your schedule, I have my schedule. When can we find a day?
Yeah.
But I also think how interesting, I met him on the same block that my job was at. So I find that to be so fascinating. Like almost feel like he was put there for a reason. And then through my 6 months of hell that I'm now escaping out of, fully present, fully supportive, fully just like, you're going to do what you got to do. This is a period in your life. Like you're okay. And that's very rare to find. So like.
Yeah, that makes me think about Jupiter conjunct your Mars again. Someone who's supporting all of your activities and just trying to be helpful to you in what you need to accomplish in the day, the 6th house, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Crazy.
So let's pause there.
Yeah.
Okay. So what do you think? What are you left with?
Yes, this was so good. You're such a good astrologer.
Thank you.
No, you really are. And like, I don't know if you do ever teach classes and stuff.
I have a school. Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay. Yes. I want to see it because I feel like a lot of people have been like, you should, because people have been telling me if I really learned charts, I would be able to be so much better too with like my tarot and some of my other stuff because I could really see everything. But I don't like the way people explain it a lot of the time. It's too much numbers and math. Like, no, like, but like, I like the way that you're and I never seen that platform before that you use.
The Astro Gold, the app.
Oh, yeah. Okay. It's very cool that you can like take out certain signs and only look at the certain things, because I think that's also what overwhelms me. Like, I can't look at all of this stuff and all these lines.
Yes. Yeah, you have to do it a little bit at a time in order to like, just cut down the noise and be able to focus.
And why are you doing this for free? This is a whole session.
Because it's really hard for me to get my work in front of people on the internet. There's so much competition, so many people writing about us. And I know that if you have an interaction with me, you're going to see that I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And so this is like my guerrilla marketing, but it's also very educational. Like I feel anyone watching this is can understand how the whole chart is working. That's another point of this, is that you cannot, of course you can study the basics separately, you have to, but then it's time to like integrate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it was so good. I'm so glad I saw I was like, wait, free chart. Like, yes, let me go see, like talk to him about it. But this is really cool. Yeah, tell me about your school.
Okay, let me just stop recording and I'll tell you. Okay. We'll just keep talking for some time. All right. So Vidya and I are signing out. All right.